an Akashic reading for Heart's Prayer. So I'm just going to go ahead and start with my crystals, like usual. So I have here my peacock ore. This is really good for grounding, really good for cleansing. Because of all the colors, it represents every chakra. And normally I just think about this in regards to the 7 chakras, but I'm actually getting a feeling of the higher chakras too. And not only them being cleansed, but that they are almost being like kind of moved around, like shifted and realigned. And I even get a feeling from your guides of like energy centers being created, which sometimes happens when a person is shifting to a higher state and now they need access to, or they need other like sources of energy available to them. Basically, that's what a chakra is. It's an energy source. It's a ball of energy. So it's like you have to have more of this available to you when you are reaching these higher states. And so this can actually cause new energy centers to end up developing and being created. And part of this has to do also with brain activation. Like as other parts of your brain awaken, you need further energy centers. And then some that are already there are just being activated. They're being like woken up. And then again, I get the feeling that they're almost being pushed into the right spot. It's like when they're deactivated and they aren't being used and they're not even useful because you have no need for them, they almost get kind of pushed to the side or moved over somewhere, almost like you take some old clothes that you never use and you stick them in a closet. They're still there and they're fully intact. Maybe they're even new, you know, maybe it's new clothes and you just never really wore them or anything, just shut them in a closet somewhere. You were like, hey, I'll wear this during the winter or whatever. It never happened. So they're still sitting there. They're still fully usable. They're intact. They're new. But they have to be kind of dust off and they have to be activated and then they have to be put back into the regular closet that you would be using. So they have to be kind of moved back into center field again, where they can be useful. But oddly enough, this comes up during some of my readings sometimes. Not all the chakras are in this straight line though, which actually even for people who have studied some of the other chakras though, that can actually be understandable, because even like in your hands, these are not in a straight line. Your hands are not in a straight line. Your feet are not exactly in a straight line. So you can see you do have some chakras that are in some other places. But for one, this is all coming through like I should be telling you this stuff. So for one of the things that the council teaches is actually that we also have like defensive chakras that are in our auric field. So your guides are pointing to one of these and they're hinting that one of these is being activated. And I'm seeing this kind of spinning around. I get almost the feeling, it almost feels dizzy or something. It doesn't feel like it's fully spinning properly yet, or like it's fully like awake yet. The reason I'm getting almost a dizzy feeling, that's not exactly a dizzy feeling that they're giving me. It's almost a feeling of like when, almost like you're coming out of a dream. You're still like dreaming, you're still sleeping, but you're starting to become more conscious. You're about to like wake up. But your guides are sending this chakra energy. So this also tells me that you are needing this more. And part of the reason we all we all do um, need these defensive chakras while we're here on earth. So I can't exactly say need them more because we all do definitely need them here on earth. But when you become more psychically aware, then in a way they're required more almost because you realize that they're required more. Whereas before you were picking up on all this stuff, but you weren't really aware, or maybe there were some negative things around you sometimes, but at the same time, you couldn't really tell psychically where they were coming from, or you couldn't really get a psychic sense of them at all, that they were almost coming towards you astrally somehow. Um, you were just thinking of them more physically. So, and this is more of like a general thing. People would be thinking of them as more of a physical thing. And then as we advance and we become more psychically developed, now we're simply aware that we had this stuff coming toward us. Now we're aware that we're empathic and we've been picking up on people. However, um, as you advance more, you not only become aware of these things, but then the gifts that you do have develop more, and you can also add more gifts also that weren't really working before. Maybe you already had them, but they were just kind of almost buried, deeply buried. They weren't really functioning. Those parts of your mind and your emotions, your intuition, all these things, they just weren't activated yet. They weren't fully working yet. And so, even though on the one hand you can become aware that you're empathic, on the other hand you can end up gaining an empathic ability, or on the other hand you can end up developing an empathic ability further, and that's what it more feels like to me with you. It more feels like you had this empathic ability, but this is going to be heightening, this is increasing. And gifts that you've already had have been increasing and are going to be increasing, and part of this has to do with your own openness to it, is a feeling that I'm getting from your guides. I also get a feeling of some type of astral kind of gift here. Some of this has to do, I think, with where you go, like when you're dreaming, when you're sleeping, and you having a gift to astrally travel. So some people have an ability to just astrally travel more easily than others. Like Wolf, for instance, he does this extremely, 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 extremely naturally, while everybody was contacting, some of these people who are like really into astral projection, teaching it and all this. Everybody's always contacting them, hey, how do I astral project? No, he was contacting them, how do I stop astral projecting? Why is this happening? And the guy was like, okay, I never ever had anyone message me saying that. They always want to know how to start astral projecting, not how to stop or why it's spontaneously happening to them. And I'm not saying that that is happening to you, because I don't get a feeling of that. But the point is that you can have a gift for that, where it does come a bit more easily to you. And I feel this feeling from them that if you were to tap into that, this is something that would more easily come up for you. I also, they're giving me a feeling that you have had this many times as a kid. You have experienced this, where you were astral traveling and you were going places while you were sleeping, or while your body was sleeping. So they're going to get into some past lives now, I think. Okay, so first they're giving me a feeling of serious, and now they're coming in with about 15,000 years ago, they're saying. And I get the feeling of some kind of water person, some kind of uh, I'm going to say man type of person, that they feel male to me. And you have a very high state of consciousness, you have a very high state of awareness in this lifetime. And you have the ability to contact like other types of beings and different things. And I'm seeing, they're showing me okay, they're showing me just this beings from higher dimensions, higher frequencies that you are in communication with, that you're in contact with. A lot of this is with feelings that you're communicating to them with. It's through it's mainly through feelings that they're communicating to you with. They're giving you feelings of different things, but sometimes they're showing you pictures also. And you're able to travel into other dimensions in this lifetime. I even get this feeling of you being able to almost look back on history and different events and things. You're also able to look into your own past lives. You're able to look into other people's past lives. And you just have an easy time of communicating with these beings and with other beings. I also get the feeling that you're telepathic there with the other um, the, the other extraterrestrials who live with you. So the other people from your planet, and they're all telepathic with you. So everybody there is pretty much enlightened and telepathic. And this is just a way that they communicate. But with these beings, you're specifically communicating with feelings and pictures, not so much sound. But with these Syrians with you, you are speaking like in a way with sound or words, but you're doing it via telepathy. So you're like stepping into each other's minds. Like you're saying sentences to one another. But I do get a feeling that you do communicate with like feelings with them also, and pictures. But sounds is also a way that you're communicating with these people. There is some type of language that you have. And I even get, they're even showing me like body language also with these people. You also communicate with like facial expressions, body language. And I also get the feeling that you do make sounds sometimes. Like, in other words, like physical sounds will come out sometimes. So you do have voice boxes and you do have the ability to speak, but you're very telepathically advanced and you mostly don't. But you do have the option if that were ever necessary. And I get the feeling that it used to be, before your race was highly telepathic. And now it's just not as necessary. Okay, but they're saying that this is part of where this astral traveling gift comes from and why you go places in your sleep. And this is also part of where you go in your sleep. And this is some type of angelic race that you're in communication with during that lifetime. But I also get the feeling that Sirius is also on an angelic frequency as well. And I do feel like there are some beings from Sirius that come around you. I also get a feeling of Pleiades around you. And I also keep seeing some type of Pegasus, or it could be a dragon, or I might be seeing both. So I'll leave that up to you. I'll leave that with you because it's kind of coming in as two different things. And I just don't want to say one or the other for some reason. I actually get the feeling that it might be, this is some type of elemental, I think. Now that I can say for sure. This is some type of elemental. And I was also getting a feeling that this was some being type that you were in communication with too. There was some elemental as well that you were speaking to. I'm not sure if it was like a whole race or if it was just one in this case, or maybe a few. Yeah, but it feels like a few, but not so many. Like with the angelic beings, it feels like you're talking to many of them. With this, it doesn't feel like so many with this being type. Okay, so nothing's coming in yet, so I'm going to go ahead and surround us with some positive energy again. Sometimes more comes through when I do that. So let me see here, which crystal. Did I go over my crystals? I don't know if I went over all of my crystals. I think I said the peacock ore, didn't I? I think I did. Why am I asking you like you can answer? You can't answer. Okay, well, I have my peacock ore. I have my rose quartz here. So we got some, I want to say higher heart energies coming in, not just heart, higher heart energies coming in, which actually increases world empathy. Then we have tiger's eye here, and this is good for manifesting. It's good for money also and luck, and it's good for clearing blocks. And it's also good for physical strength and physical immunity, like gaining physical immunity, physical endurance. And then this is my crystal quartz here, my last one that I pulled. So I pulled 4 here, dog hair. and So this one is, it not only represents higher energies coming in, angelic frequencies, just because it's white, all of my white stones, they always feel that they are representing that to me. But also clearing. This is very good for clearing, cord cutting, different things like that. They are showing me some cords that you have right now. They're showing me a cord in your throat. And then they're showing me a cord in your solar plexus also. Okay, so I might wait on surrounding us in the energy if more starts coming in. I keep seeing this guide on the right side of you. This guide keeps coming up during the reading. She feels very light, very loving, very angelic. This feels like a very angelic kind of being type. And she's saying that she's been with you since you were little, or since you were born. But then she's giving me the feeling she's actually been with you a long time before that. So she was with you during past lives also. Okay, including this Syrian lifetime. But she was not there with you physically in Sirius, but she was guiding you. And I'm getting the feeling from her, it almost felt for a second like you had a lifetime with her, but that didn't really feel right. But now I'm getting the feeling that this lifetime that you had in Sirius, she almost in a way considered that a lifetime with you, almost like having a physical lifetime with you. Okay, because I'm seeing that she was able to appear to you. So you were just very advanced in that lifetime. So it was very easy for them to talk to you, very easy for them to give you communications. And to just, for you to speak back and forth empathically, telepathically, Okay, so you were aware of them as physical people. You were aware of them, like as solid people, not just a sun-like energy coming around you and you kind of feel a presence near you. This was like full-on communication that you had with these angels. She's saying that you were very good at speaking to them. And I get the feeling that this wasn't something that everybody was just doing. Even though they were all communicating telepathically with each other, they weren't all in contact with beings in this way. She's saying not all of them were meant to be, not all of them had an interest in it. Like they were all open to it, they all knew it was possible. Nobody was like downing you for it like they would here. So nobody was saying anything negative about it, or they would want to hear about your travels, your communications, etc. It's just not everybody was doing it. Not everybody wanted to be doing it or felt to do it. So she's saying that you had a reason for doing this. Something that you wanted to gain by doing it. I am getting a feeling from her that that pretty much all of these health problems that you have, um, they really are, they, she's giving me this feeling. She's saying these cords, she's talking about cords that you have to other people. And it's like I'm just going to say cords that you have. Cords that you have, and then you're able to pick up on energies empathically. So I almost get the feeling that not all of this is your own health problem. Some of this is the way that it's interpreted, just via your body. And that's not to say, now it could be, like, it could be specifically someone else's health problem, um, like to some degree, but mainly what I'm feeling is that it wouldn't be interpreted in that exact way. Like it could even be like a world energy or something that you're picking up on, and your body is just interpreting it in this way. It's just negative energy, and your body feels it, and your body just does something with it. Translates. That's the word she's giving me. It's like your body just translated into you being ill, into you having a health problem. Health problems. One thing I'm feeling from her is a weak immune system. And I get a feeling of being gentle on your body, and also of cleansing it. And I'm seeing like a lot of green juices, and I'm feeling like, um, if you really like empowered, it's almost like empowering your body through physical things that you're taking in. And but she's using this word like to empower it, like to give it power, to give it immunity. And she's waving this around. Is that is about like physical immunity. She's saying immunity to ailments, immunity to physical negativity, but she's also saying immunity to negativity as far as what you are manifesting, not only as far as your physical health goes and your physical body goes. But she's talking about like a weakness, almost like a physical weakness. And that you need physical strength. I do get a feeling from her like you are in some ways good about your health, as far as things that you take in. But she's saying that you need to focus on almost like this translating to your body. Okay, so your body is taking negative energies and it's translating them into this. So you can actually use that. You can actually use the fact that your body pulls in energies and it translates it into this negative thing, and you can say, okay, instead, I'm going to put this empowering energy into my drink, liquids especially. Liquids is what I especially get a feeling of, and greens. I keep getting a feeling from her of greens, pictures of greens, and I get a feeling of you placing energies into what you're taking in so that you can absorb these energies. So like tiger's eye, for instance, put it near put it near your food, or near your drinks. Put crystals around it and tell those crystals to put energy into this. Tell them what kind of energy you want them to put in, and ask them for their help in this way. Ask them to put light into these drinks that you're going to be taking into your body so that you can absorb a positive energy, and then at the same time work on deflecting energies that might come towards you. Now she's saying that since you were a little girl, you were you had a heightened sensitivity of the world. Again, she's saying that this came from this Syrian lifetime. She's saying that this isn't the origin, by the way. She's throwing that in. But anyway, she's saying that this did come from this Syrian lifetime, this sensitivity that you had, this high level of sensitivity that you have, she's saying. But you had this since you were a little girl, so she says you were born with it. And it began to kind of heighten. I'm getting almost like toddler years, but then I'm even getting like seven or so, 7, 8, 9, a feeling like that. 6, 7, 8, 9 in there. These are heightening again. So around 3 or so, they were kind of heightening. Around 7 or so, they were kind of heightening again. And because of this, you absorbed a lot because one of your abilities is like empathic communication. Um, she's saying picking up on energies being sent towards you is really the beginning of being telepathic, being empathic. Or this is the beginning of being able to communicate empathically, she's saying. And being able to speak another language like this. That is actually the beginnings of that. So she's saying because you were highly sensitive in this way and you were absorbing a lot ever since you were little, she's saying that you also need to learn to deflect energies, but you also need to release energies that you've absorbed in this lifetime. She's also saying in other lifetimes as well. She's saying including the one that came up during the last reading, so she's reminding me of that. There was some, like I think Muslim lifetime, something that came up with that. Okay, she's saying there was like a lot of energies from that lifetime that had to do with the society around you, and she's talking about negative emotions. And being female, she's saying. So she's specifically saying a disempowering emotion. And like a lot of emotions that she's almost grouping together as just calling it, just saying a disempowered feeling, a disempowered emotion, or a disempowering feeling. So you also need to release those emotions that you've absorbed as well. And then you can deflect the ones that might come towards you better. But you need to learn to use this ability that you have as well in a positive way. She's saying that you can absorb negative energy, but you can also absorb positive energy. You can absorb light. So you can absorb energies that bring your body together versus bring it apart. Okay, now I am going to go ahead and surround us in some energy again. I'm feeling to do that. Okay. So I'll start with myself. I'm using my crystal quartz. Okay, now I'm going to surround you. Okay, I think I'm supposed to be using a different crystal. Okay, let's try this one. Okay, no, not that one either. Okay, let me see here. Okay, here we go. Peacock ore. So I do have a block at the throat coming up. I get a feeling that some of these energies could actually be deflected by you just voicing your opinions more and setting boundaries more. I get the feeling from her that you can almost be a little bit too soft and not as good at setting boundaries in some areas and with some people. And I do get kind of a male, almost father kind of energy or father figure kind of energy. And there's a feeling almost like some of this being kind of soft spoken, or even a little bit of this little girl type of energy came from him. And a little bit of how he expected you to be, and also a feeling of almost how a girl is expected to be. And a feeling of being nice or being polite. Even a feeling of being thankful, weirdly enough. She's giving me a feeling of being thankful, almost like overly thankful, where it's almost slightly negative, where it can be negative, like almost like an undeserving kind of feeling, but it's masked with like a gratitude, like thank you so much for doing this for me, because you don't really feel worthy of it. She's saying that this can come up sometimes in other ways, and she's just giving some examples here. But she's saying, like, with little things that you don't have to be that grateful for. Where it's just almost kind of expected, like a person should do this. Like a friend pays for your movie ticket or something, she's saying. This isn't a big thing. So she's saying, yes, be grateful, but almost in a quiet way. Don't be overly grateful. When the time comes, you would do the same thing. And you're deserving of it just in the same way that the other person is deserving of it, and you're not less deserving of it. She's saying that with a big thing, be grateful. Really show that you're grateful. And she's basically saying match it. That's basically what she's saying. The amount of energy that is expended, um, put the same amount back. And she's not saying in any way that it's wrong to be grateful. What she's saying is to be undeserving is what you have to look out for and be careful of. To make sure that your motive is really gratitude, really out of gratitude, and not a feeling of being unworthy. She's saying, yeah, motive isn't exactly the right word, but what is it out of? That's what she's saying. So I was saying motive. She's saying what is it out of? Okay. Well, okay, so I have a Pleiadian lifetime coming up also. And I get the feeling of you being a mother. So you're female in this lifetime. I do get the feeling of you being a mother. And I get the feeling that it's to more than one child. One of them is male. They're giving me a female of a feeling of. One of them feels female. Now you get there's something about the male child. They're saying that he's like very artistic. He's very in tune with his emotional side. He's also telepathic, but there again, I get the feeling that he's not the only one who is. He's also uh, can use telekinesis, and he can put mental images in someone's mind. So he's very artistic in this way. So he can basically do drawings in your head almost, but he can also draw. He could also draw with like a whatever they use there. I doubt that they exactly use pens and papers, but but he can like draw or paint this kind of thing. And he can express himself in this way, and it is like a spiritual art that he is putting out. And this is something that you are very moved by, and you are very gravitated towards this, um, towards your son because of this, especially. And she's saying that's not to say that you don't have a special connection as well with the daughter or the other children. I get a feeling there might actually be other children that they haven't really mentioned. And also just other children like in your family that aren't yours specifically, like a niece or a nephew versus like a daughter or a son. But in this way, this is something that you're very drawn to, that you gravitate towards. This ability that he has to show you images in your head, but also to uh, draw them in a more physical way. And I also get the feeling that he does some kind of like poetry or so art with words also, but it's especially this painting, drawing kind of, and communicating that he does. he looks at the world in a very artistic way, and he's also very almost inward. But he is very happy. His personality, they give me a feeling of, and I almost get the feeling he has a different way of looking at the world. Like if he were to come here, I almost have a feeling he would be labeled as like autistic or almost like special if he were here, and they're saying he is special, so that's why they would have had that label correctly. And I do get the feeling that sometimes this soft energy that you have is actually kind of a healing type of energy. Now they're speaking more about the present life, but they're saying this is almost kind of a healing type of energy that you have too. Like you would be good with children, and you would be good with people with disabilities and this kind of thing. And also they're saying getting along in general. They're saying that you have an eye for what's within other people. Like you can see what's within other people. You can have compassion for other people. And they're saying they can't say that this came from this lifetime, but it was enhanced by this lifetime, and with speaking with this son in particular. And they're saying that you were a very good mother in that lifetime. They're saying that you did very well. But they're saying that Pleiadians operate in a bit more of a normal way, in a sense. They're saying, like for instance, they have like spouses, like they have partners, they have children. Um, they're saying they have a form of like career, not in the same way as here, like not some career that they hate or they're part of some system that they don't like or something. They're saying more like sharing your gifts, sharing your talents, and they do have things that they focus on to improve the world, and they're saying the galaxy. I'm sure they think of it more in terms of that. They're very connected. We're more disconnected here, so we just think our little part of the ocean versus the whole vast thing. But anyway, or a bigger part of it anyway. But they are saying that there are a little bit more um, like they can relate a bit more to some of the structures that we have, but um, not in a corrupt way. But they do live, like they do live lives, is the feeling that I get. And they're saying that this is the way it is on many planets. People do have some sort of structure, they do have some kind of, lives that they're living, some kind of career, some kind of family, just in a different way, for planets that are more evolved anyway, for planets that are on a much higher energy and a much higher energy frequency. So she's saying that they do things very differently, but in some ways it's the same. Now, I am so getting the feeling from her that she's a Pleiadian. And I get the feeling from her that you're a Pleiadian, that this is more the origin. And before she was saying that it wasn't serious, even though they were relaying this lifetime to you, and you do have, I'm getting the feeling, more than one lifetime there. In Sirius, not necessarily as this same type of being, I'm not sure, but in this same location or around it is another feeling that I get also. So you have a lot of gifts coming to you from this Pleiadian lifetime that have to, and just from being a Pleiadian in general, that have to do with healing and that have to do with seeing the good in others, trusting others, being compassionate for others. And she doesn't mean being naive. She's not saying being naive when she's saying trusting others, but just seeing the good in others, expecting something good, and being good to others in general, uplifting others, being there for others, encouraging others with your words, and attempting to say things that are coming from your heart. Okay, I'm also getting a feeling of Lemuria now. And I'm seeing a lot of water. They're showing me a lot of water. Don't really know anything about Lemuria, I can tell you that. But they are showing me a lot of water. They are giving me a feeling of like a very magical place. They're giving me a feeling of like immortal people, people who don't age, they don't die. They're not getting gray, they're not getting old. They don't have to eat, they don't have to drink. And she's saying that they aren't suffering. And in general, there's a lot of harmony, I get the feeling of. And this is people living there, like earth people. They're at least part human, these people. They are partly human, I get a feeling from her. And I get a feeling from her that this is possible almost for humanity to kind of transition back to where they were. And obviously, we believe that on our channel. So obviously that's not surprising what she's saying. I'm getting a feeling of Lemurian crystals. I'm getting a feeling that that would be um, a way for you to uh, translate some of these positive energies into your body. Because she's saying that you did have a lifetime there where you were experiencing no physical suffering, and you did have um, DNA that was similar to the DNA that you have now. She's saying it wasn't the same. And she doesn't just mean because you're a different person, but she means like it wasn't exactly human, but it was similar. She's saying very similar. But she's saying that they were immortal, they weren't having to age, they weren't having to die, they were physically strong, and they were taking in energies, they were absorbing into their body, and their body knew naturally how to do that, which it should. And so they weren't having to take in these outside sources like food and liquid, or even breathing. She's saying even air. So she's saying there weren't requirements for living. So she's saying it's not that they didn't ever breathe. But if you were going to not breathe for a very long time, you would survive. You didn't need something outside of you in this way. So she's saying that your survival wasn't dependent on your body getting nutrients in some form of physical way. It got it via energy, and that sustained it, and that was enough for it. And she's saying that that's something that you can pull from. Getting this feeling from her, like they're almost like they're clearing you through me. Because a lot of times when when guides start swaying me back and forth, it's actually a way of clearing, but they're basically, and if I'm like mirroring the person, then it's a way of clearing the client. So they're giving me this feeling like they're actually attempting to clear you, and specifically your emotional body, your energy field in general also, so like your mental body also, and just your energy. But I do get a feeling like specifically your heart chakra, and they're saying to prepare your higher heart chakra for advancement. but also to allow a peace in that you've never been able to feel so completely before as you will when all of these distorted, dysfunctional energies are removed, not distorted, dysfunctional energies are removed. And this disharmonious energy is removed, or disharmonious emotions. Once these are removed, you're simply going to be. And in that state, you'll manifest what you desire easily. Simply be, and you will manifest easily. She's singing. Hmm. 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 Just saying to see it going straight into your heart chakra when you're seeing it, the energy of it, the frequency of it going straight into your heart chakra and your higher heart chakra. And the sacral chakra opens up and releases as well. As this passes through the higher heart and the heart chakra. The lower chakras also open, especially specifically the sacral chakra. And they begin to release their emotional energies. She gives me a feeling of putting your hands on your lap open. So I have them on my knees with the palms open, and they're directly over my feet. So this is good for grounding as well. This is receiving and it's grounding. She says, thank you very much. I think she's thanking me, actually. For allowing them to communicate those energies. And for the whole reading, for allowing them to communicate their energies. Okay. Well, we've still got some time left. Got about 15 more minutes. She's saying that the heart chakra specifically needs to be worked on, and the sacral chakra. She's also saying that you need to focus on activating these defensive chakras, 3 defensive chakras in your auric field. She's saying that they're very big. They're big like this. And they're in your auric field. So I get she's saying to visualize them as a big ball of white light, I also, one is white, one is a white light, one is a purple light, and one is a blue light. And when they're spinning around you very, very, very fast, she's saying it's going to be a blend of the colors. It'll be a blend of them all together. So I'm getting a feeling of the indigo chakra, the crown chakra, and then the white is almost just like all of the chakras or just the auric field in general and the chakras in general, it feels like. So this is almost like a general defense, just to help deflect energies coming towards you. Whereas these two are specifically more of like a psychic type of defense, like a psychic or astral defense. So this is like a psychic defense. She's saying this is an astral defense. The purple one is like an astral defense. The indigo one is the psychic defense. She's saying that they're both a little bit similar. She's saying one is going to protect you more from energies here, from people, so it's a little bit um, lower energy protection in a way. That's not the word that I want to use, but it's like a lower level, like more in this astral dimension where people are just sending energies towards you. Whereas I'm not saying that they're up here, obviously they're like in your auric field here, but I'm saying the one that corresponds with the crown chakra, the purple one. So this is more astral in the sense of almost things that can travel from other dimensions. Like you have these guides coming, it will also protect you from things like thought forms, entities, cords even. But the other one can protect you from cords too. It just depends on where the cords are coming from, who they're coming from, or what they're coming from. Because earlier when she said cords, and so she's kind of saying this again in a sense, because she's saying that both can help with the cords. But earlier I didn't feel like I could only say people with the cords. So some of it might be coming from a thought form or even an entity. But they don't want to like scare you or something. They're saying that isn't a big deal. That can easily be cleared as soon as you just put yourself on the right frequency, which you can do by releasing these lower energies. As you focus on releasing these energies out of your heart chakra and releasing these various cords, she's saying, and deflecting these energies, all these things that they've been talking about during the reading. As you do these things, then you'll put yourself on the right frequency. So it doesn't matter if there's a lower entity or any of these lower things. They can only attempt to harm you when you are open to it. And they can never do something that you're not allowing. So as soon as you just put yourself on the right frequency, then you begin to manifest things. Then nothing is blocked. Because the blocks, they're in another dimension. They can't block you. Or rather, you're in another dimension from them. You're on another level of frequency, she's saying, where they can't affect you. So it's just about getting yourself on the right frequency. And it's just visualizations that you do in order to activate these chakras. Okay, they're saying that they're going to go into one more lifetime here, but they're going to go into it more briefly than they went into the other two. Oh, yeah, they said that a minute ago, and I didn't end up saying, by the way, this entity thing that she was mentioning, this is coming from this lifetime that they talked about before, and in the other reading is mainly when they talked about it, this Muslim lifetime where you had all this sadness and this disempowered feeling. That's where it's coming from. And they're saying that it started off as a thought form, as simply a thought form. So it's really just a very advanced thought form that came from this lifetime. And so it's something that you created. And it's just attached to you via a cord. And it's just giving you these negative emotions. It's attempting to send you negative emotions so you can focus on deflecting that. You can focus on cord cutting, etc. The different things that came through in the reading, but they're just clarifying that where that came from, what that is. Okay, no, actually, I'm feeling that was the lifetime that they wanted to talk about. This one that they had already brought up. That was the third one that they wanted to talk about, actually. Okay, and they're saying that they don't really have time to get into another one, but they covered basically all the things that they want to cover for now. But they do want to say, you do have a few more minutes, and they do want to say that this ability to communicate with them is still something that you have. And especially since you also have this astral ability, it's almost like you're a little bit still in the astral. Like you're always connected to the astral, even when you're not sleeping. This this enhances this mediumship ability that they're going on about because of the fact that it holds you ever so slightly into the astral realm. You have the ability to kind of just be able to view it a bit, be able to get a sense of it even when you're in your body. So it doesn't mean like you're pulling out or something, but it just means you're always connected to it where you can perceive it. So they're saying that this enhances this mediumship ability that you have. They're also specifically saying clairvoyance. So they're saying perceive it like clairvoyantly, not only empathically and clairsentiently, they're saying. There again, from that lifetime, you had both of these things. You had this clairsentience and clairempathy, and you also had this clairvoyance because they were saying the pictures. And they're stressing again that this Lemurian lifetime is important for your health, to pull from that lifetime. Okay. And they're giving me this name Vena. They're saying Vena. And this was one of your names during that Lemurian lifetime. They were trying to get that through earlier, and it just was not coming. It was coming in like Mira, like Vera. I was like, so it took me a minute, but they're saying Vena. And they want you to pull from this aspect of yourself. And they're saying you can even hold the Lemurian crystals that you get in your hands, or if you have them already. But if you don't, I feel like they would want you to get some and hold them in your hands, and you can even just say this name over and over. And they're saying to attempt to feel a connection to this part of yourself. And feel it through your body, like your body is strong, even like your DNA is changing. Your DNA has a strength from this lifetime. Okay, so they're saying they don't want to go over. Yeah, they're about right. Our time is up here. So thank you so much for allowing me to do this reading for you, Heart's Prayer. Thank you very much, and I hope that this helps you on your journey. Thank you. Namaste.